These two guys have Minnesota sports flowing in their veins. Mackey and Judd on Score North and ScoreNorth.com.
Write this down. Write it down. You like writing things down. Write this down.
It's a Write That Down Wednesday. The OG edition here on Minnesota Sports with Mackey and Judd and the Score North YouTube channel, where we put statistics like idiots next to our predictions and our results so you can see how wrong we are on a regular basis. You can see when Judd is wrong. Admit that you're wrong.
Takes some big cojones. Takes the big cojones to do what we do every week.
Takes a very secure person.
Big cojones.
Person. Yeah. So we'll get into that. Hey, a couple things. We're giving away some cool stuff on the Score North app right now throughout the month of August. Starting with a 75-inch Roku Pro Series 4K TV. That's nearly an $1,800 value just in time for football season. A 75-inch Roku Pro Series 4K TV for you.
Football.
You can register to win via the Score North app, which is free to download if you haven't already. There's a listener rewards section. You can just get in there and register to win. Also, in that same area of the Score North app, Renaissance Festival tickets. The Renaissance Festival begins August 17th through September 29th, I should say. And you can get a 4-pack of tickets to the Renaissance Festival in the listener rewards section of the Score North app. So check those things out.
Write this down.
All right, here's how Write That Down works for those who might be new. 3 predictions from everybody each week. They must be quantifiable. Those are really the only rules that we operate by here. We keep track of batting averages and home runs. And listeners, if you want to be like Shane and participate as a guest listener predictor, you can send Declan a message through the Score North app, and we'll get you scheduled for some time in the coming weeks. All right, kind of a juicy accountability session.
All right.
And a lot more green than usual, I feel like. Not counting Judd's attire right now. You look a little like John Cena, sponsored by Padres.
Yes. Oh
my
God,
Padres, you know what? I wore this because I figured it would be good luck.
Do you have jorts on? You got your jorts? Got your
John Cena jorts?
I got my mesh shorts on. Mesh shorts.
Are they
not
green?
My jorts. No, they're black.
Okay. I think John Cena should have maybe switched it up from the jorts at some point.
You know what? I like that he just stood with it. I respected it.
2024. Jorts are going to come back around before the end of his career.
I loved how he said in his presser, he was like, yeah, jorts never came back around like I thought they were going to. No, they did not. Okay, Judd, we'll start with the bad here. You said Nelson Cruz would be hired by the Twins within the next calendar year, and the end date there was July 12th, 2024. Works for the league. But not
I figured he'd work in some capacity, and he was so popular here that I thought he might be like, some type of ambassador or something for the Twins.
I was thinking about this because we were wondering, and I know Nelson Cruz isn't like a lot. He was only with the Twins for a few years, but he's probably, and I know he's doing this league work, I think also to kind of up his image. Is Nelson Cruz a Hall of Famer?
Nope.
Well, he can't because he got
pinched.
He got popped early in his career.
Is it an automatic ban from the Hall of Fame even if you took him?
No,
but they won't vote for him.
Yeah.
I don't know.
They don't vote for Barry Bonds.
Dude, Barry Bonds and A-Rod aren't in.
Well,
yeah, but
and they didn't even technically get, A-Rod got suspended. But Barry Bonds, it's all still technically unproven.
And Barry Bonds to me is the most intriguing case because you could A-Rod would be tougher, but you could make a case that Barry Bonds, the Pittsburgh Pirate, was a Hall of Famer.
And Barry Bonds' first 5 years as a Giant. If you believe the timeline that he
did. Sure, right. But that's my point
because the story is he saw the 98 season play out and he was like, wait a second, I'm hitting 45 bombs clean and these guys are breaking the record. Well, what could I do if I took steroids?
Yep.
But I believe, to Declan's point, I believe Nelson Cruz should be a Hall of Famer. He paid his price, unless we think that he was, throughout the entirety of his career, was do you think he was taking something when he was hitting home runs with the Twins in 2019? I don't.
No, the only thing that makes me question him is that his success started so late.
That's fine.
Yeah, he was 29.
But I think he might have jump-started his success. Barry Bonds is one of the most phenomenal baseball players with or without roids ever.
Yeah. So, I think Nelson Cruz has to probably take a number. Sammy Sosa's not in, McGuire, some of these guys.
Right.
Okay, on to the good for Judd here. You said before the end of the year, we would get an announcement that a Joe Mauer statue is being rectified outside of Target Field. Because of the specific timeline there, the short timeline, unless you want to admit that you heard some steam, we're going to give you a home run for that one.
No, I just assumed it. Is rectified, did I use that word? Is that the right word, or is it erected?
I don't know what word you used. I'm just reading the teleprompter.
No, I know. No, but I think rectified means you fixed something.
Erected would be the word for,
You might have used both, and then I just heard one of them.
Okay, I think rectified means like it's fixing it, so I think it's just the wrong word. But that's okay. It's not a big deal.
Very much burgundy. Whatever's on that prompter, Phil will read it.
Yeah, I mean, I'll say this. As I read the word, I thought about the usage of the word being incorrect too. But I just read what's on the prompter. So
I got no problem with that. I was asking. I was not mocking. I was not passing judgment, and I might have said rectified.
Oh, you probably. I mean, you're a longtime journalist. You probably said erected, and Declan felt weird about putting that word into the spreadsheet.
That is a 100% plausible situation.
Okay.
I want to draw your attention to one of the oldest predictions still on the board, because you've now hit the second leg of this 3-leg parlay. So this is from 2016 or whatever. Or when did he retire?
18.
18.
But the last part that you're going to get to here did come from Steam. Now it's not internal Twin Steam, but somebody told me this, and it makes
6 years
sense.
ago.
6 years ago, though.
There is an open gate. There is an unnamed, unmarked, numbered gate.
So they were kind of planning this in 2009 when the stadium was being finalized.
I think this is the third leg of the Twins having Joe Mauer weekend coming up at some point.
So this, for the audio audience that can't see this, Judd made a prediction 6 or 7 years ago that Joe Mauer will have his number retired, a statue, so you've hit those two, and the number 7 gate dedicated somewhere at Target Field, the open gate at Target Field.
Friday, I have to walk around and confirm this, but I think I was told it's by where the light rail goes by outside there on what street is that? I don't know.
The left field entrance over there?
Yes, around the left field entrance.
Okay.
Correct.
And then you said Bill Belichick would spend 2024 as a studio analyst. I don't think you specified television. He has been hired by Underdog Fantasy to do film breakdowns on their digital platforms. How about that?
They must have some nice cash flow. Our friends from Underdog.
I think we helped them explode 3 or 4 years ago, clearly. And they've been a great partner of ours, and they've used the momentum of Purple Daily to be one of the biggest sports content platforms in fantasy. Okay, I had a good week here too. But I am being presumptive with one of these, and I'm going to ask for the committee to review. But we'll start with these two. We'll start with the bad. I said Team USA would beat South Sudan by at least 20 points, and Ant would have at least 12 points, 5 rebounds. They were up by 20 at halftime, and then they just kind of took their foot off the gas, and they won by 18. And I don't think Ant grabbed 5 rebounds, so whatever. I did tell you that Anthony Edwards would lead Team USA in scoring in at least one Olympic game. He did. And he still, after yesterday, I think is the overall scoring average leader for the entire team. So be on watch. He might legitimately lead Team USA in scoring by the time these Olympics are done. And then when Aaron Rodgers tore his Achilles almost a year ago, I told you guys, and we agreed this is sort of subjective and nebulous. You'll know it when you see it, and I would bring evidence to you when the evidence was ready. So I said sometime between the Achilles injury and 2024 training camp, Aaron Rodgers would go through bizarre therapy in regards to his Achilles injury, some sort of unorthodox, bizarre therapy. And we agreed, all right, that's kind of nebulous, sort of unquantifiable, but I would bring my case to you. So I found a podcast, and I can't remember the name of it, but it was it's a YouTube channel with 2,000 subscribers. It's I don't know, a peak performance podcast that Aaron Rodgers joined these two guys. And I watched a 10-minute answer where they asked him, hey, give us the details of your recovery. And he listed these things, okay? So you tell me, are any of these things unorthodox or bizarre? recovering from an Achilles tendon surgery. So he said, first off, prayers. He asked all of his friends, and I don't think he really has family that he talks to, but like the people in his circle, he asked them to pray. That's pretty normal. Manifestation exercises. I don't know what that entails, but he said like he practiced like mental manifestation of his Achilles coming back to life. Drinking bone broth, cold lasers, red light therapy, anti-gravity treadmill, hyperbaric chamber, which that's pretty common for like rich athletes, and stem cells I feel like are pretty common.
That's common.
Right.
So what I would ask you is between drinking bone broth daily, which I don't know, like people they use bone broth for soup and whatever. Right?
Yeah. I don't think that's the ordinary.
Cold lasers, red light therapy, and anti-gravity treadmills.
I don't know if those are bizarre.
Okay. I'm
I'm
at the mercy of you guys right now. So
I'll tell you this. I have no idea what cold lasers means in terms of therapy.
That's my point.
But outside of, I would say, prayers. I don't know. That's just very subjective. I'm not.
That's not like unorthodox.
That's bizarre. Yep,
that's not bizarre
normal.
at all, though.
Manifestation
exercise. I don't know.
I mean, if you wanted to say that, like leaning on prayers and manifestation to magically heal, but like everyone prays when something bad happens.
Yeah.
If you guys shoot it down, I'm not. I mean, whatever.
I don't know what rises up to. Like,
Yeah.
I guess when you said that we would know it, I was thinking like, I don't know, going to Germany for some weird,
Right.
Well, he did go to Egypt, but I don't know if he got like
he ate the Achilles of a deer or something. Like
oh my God, yeah.
It
doesn't.
That'd be bizarre.
I don't know that anything there looks to be what I would consider bizarre therapy.
Yeah, I think I agree. I don't think this is a hit unless we could find something else that he comes out with and says, he like was chewing on the Achilles of a boar or something. I don't know.
I gnawed on the Achilles of 15 different wild animals.
I had my chef cook it up. It's delicious. We're going to market it.
He did actually throw a mention in for his wonderful personal chef too that helped create the bone broth meals and whatever.
That's why Phil's got one now.
I don't have one. I said if I ever had $100 million,
I thought you hired a guy.
No, I'm not able to afford a personal chef every day. But so you're not okay. All right, that's fine. Listen, I would say this: if the audience pushes back and wants us to take this to Lawyer Chase,
that's fine. I'd be fine with that.
Anti-gravity treadmill? The hell is that?
I don't think I've heard of those before, and I think athletes use them at times, because they're so damn rich, right?
Is that like a pool, like a treadmill in a pool?
Probably, yeah.
I'm just
red light
Google image searching.
Red light therapy, I'm not familiar with.
Okay, so anti-gravity treadmill. It's like your body is in some sort of. It's like a treadmill, but your body is wrapped in like a chamber of some kind.
All right. Okay.
I don't know. All right. I'm not gonna put up any more of a fight here because I understand the subjective nature. Okay, listeners. So Gavin had a Mackey prediction that says check with Declan by May of 2024. Let's go back to that in a second. What do you mean?
No, as in I don't know if I have this.
Why?
That's what that means. I don't know. I'm trying to find it. Gavin, hold on. There's a lot of. I don't have it in my normal spreadsheet. Let me see when Gavin.
It's okay. If I have to take my headphones off for a prediction, one of you guys has to log.
No, leave me out of this. I don't write them down. I know this is on Declan.
Somebody has to because I can't. Obviously,
he's the collector of the predictions.
We'll come back to this. Declan had a great week, by the way. He went 3 for 3 with 2 home runs.
Nice.
Starting with this one, he said Trevor Richards will strike out the first batter he faces in his first appearance with the Twins. About a 25%. Based on his statistics, there was like a 25% hit rate there. So that's a home run. And this was also based on probability, about a 25% chance. So it's a home run. Twins beat the Mets, and Pablo Lopez strikes out at least 7 in his start. And then Roman Reigns will be off television until at least SummerSlam. So 3 for 3 for old Dex.
Tribal Chief. I'm emailing Gavin. Gavin, I found the email, and I don't know why I would have just put that. I'm confused on my own work here. Obviously, I screwed up, but I don't.
I feel like you need a document that's like any of the Mackey predictions. There's another one here too, by the way. Well, you made a Mackey prediction at some point in the last couple of years that just says check with Declan, but it's from like 2 years ago. So we probably need to come up with a system for like Mackey predictions.
Say, yeah, that or I feel like the ones where I have to take off my headphones get documented well because
it's just easy.
Well, because we throw it in the.
You both do it or whatever, but yeah.
Well, so the problem is, like Declan logs the predictions and puts them in a shared Google sheet with me and Declan. So, but if it's a prediction about me, he can't put it in that Google sheet. But they have to go somewhere, or I get off.
Or they don't. We might be finding out today that they just go into that great ether of YouTube and podcasts, and they never come back.
My average is actually 398 with the reversal there. Oh. Declan at 378, listeners 371, Judd 333. Listeners have 8 home runs. The three of us have 7 home runs. And then all-time, Declan leads with a 362 average, Judd 335 for hits, and listeners have 63 home runs in their career, with the stats going back to 2018. Let's get Shane in here, rocking his old school Chris Dolman Vikings jersey.
Yes, sir.
Not your Garrett Bradbury jersey.
56, no. That's Bradbury, right? What's going on?
We don't love him.
Well, hey, he's got some more sand in his pants, according to Judd's camp notes this year.
Yeah, 10 pounds, right?
Yeah, he got bull rushed a couple times though in practice on Tuesday. So
he's
keep that Dolman jersey rocking.
Yeah.
What a player, by the way.
Shane? What is your? Obviously, you come from a Chris Dolman era of fandom here. What is your background as a Vikings fan?
So, open up the paper, October 12th, 1989, the New Haven Register. I see the Dallas Cowboys have traded my favorite player, Herschel Walker, to the Vikings. I instantly skipped school. Starter was in the town next door. So I went and got a parka, the hat, and I've been a Viking fan ever since. I jumped on the bandwagon. A lot of people broke my chops because the purple, wasn't the prettiest color, but I've been diehard since 1989, and I look forward to that day that they win the Super Bowl.
So Starter was right next door?
It was down the street. Yeah, I just took the bus.
God, that's great stuff,
awesome.
Man.
Yeah.
That is really amazing, good. Man.
Yeah, I loved Chris Dolman, and Al Noga was a big Al Noga guy.
Oh, Al Noga, yeah.
Henry Thomas was part of those defensive lines too.
They were so awesome. They were fearless. Good old days.
I feel like the late 80s, early 90s were like it's only remembered for the Herschel Walker trade, but the Vikings had some really competitive teams late 80s into early 90s that go largely forgotten.
Yep.
Yeah, everybody talks about Herschel Walker. As soon as you say you're a Viking fan, they're like, usually most people are Cowboy fans for some reason. Oh yeah, you made us win Super Bowls, but it is what it is.
Terrible trade, but the thing is, it did the Vikings didn't get terrible because of that trade. If you went back and just listen to people now talk about that trade, you would think, well, man, the Vikings must have won about 3 games for 3 years, and they didn't. And when you started to follow them too, was sort of the end of the Millard era into John Randall. But what a great period that was. People forget. I mean, Keith Millard was dominant before he tore up his knee at the Metrodome. Just a great player.
He was awesome in college at Washington State. He was a monster.
He was a monster. That whole group, as far as inside defensive tackles went, that whole group was so far in some ways ahead of its time, because that's still when, the fat guys that I loved, right, plug the holes and start a gap, and guys like Millard and then Johnny, who was a freak. Those were the first guys to have that just incredible push. And it's like, hold on a second, those guys can rush quarterbacks.
It was so awesome watching them back then. I just love Chris Dolman, how he kind of lined up a little cockeyed, a little off to the side, and it was hard for people to get their hands on him. He was awesome.
Yeah, dude. Wow. Love
Great
it. It's
memories.
like the lost era of Vikings football there. So we're going to start with Shane, over to Judd, Declan, back to me. 3 trips around the room. The predictions must be quantifiable. That's pretty much the only rule here. So Shane, you're first out of the gate.
Okay. I practiced my predictions with my family. They weren't huge fans of them, so I'm hoping you guys like them a little better. But my first one is that Jahad Ward will make it up to Aaron Rodgers when he talked junk to him in the Hard Knocks thing. When he kind of pushed him late and he goes, I don't even know your name, bro. I think when they play in England, he's going to sack Aaron Rodgers and he's going to know his name after the game because of that. I think it's going to be a game-changing sack.
So well, just for quantifiable, let's just say Jihad Ward will sack Aaron Rodgers, and then the rest of it kind of off the record, because I think that is a home run if it happens.
Okay, it's going to happen.
Okay,
nice.
And then he'll probably taunt him in some way.
Write this down.
Get a 15-yard penalty.
I was gonna say, don't taunt too much.
Spot. Yeah.
Don't cost yourself 15
It'll be
yards.
worth it though.
Okay, my write that down this week is a 3-pack of Ant related write that downs.
Oh,
okay. So in honor of a guy who's tearing up the Olympics, who's playing great, my first one is a grand slam, but I'm going with it. Ant will be the NBA MVP next season.
Wow, dude.
He is going to.
Wow.
He's going to ride the wave. He's going to ride the wave. See, again, the Olympics in this case, I think is great for him. He's a kid. He's young. And he's doing nothing, in my opinion, but meeting like these benchmarks, playoff run, right? And he clowns the Suns, and then he beats the Nuggets. Now, Olympics, leading scorer, huge respect, right? He's climbing this hill, and I think it will someday culminate with a championship. But for now, it will culminate with an NBA MVP.
You know, if you look back to, so what game was it that he took? Was it game 6 where he took that fall? They were killing the Nuggets in game 6 at Target Center in the second half.
I was there with you. Yep.
He falls, he's down motionless for like 5 minutes, eventually gets back up, and the game was decided, and he didn't look the same. Game 7 was a little bit more of a struggle physically, and then he wasn't the same player against the Mavericks. But in these Olympics, and he's not like the highest usage player because it's full of the best players in the world, he looks efficiency-wise, jump, shooting, everything like the guy we saw in the first 2 rounds of the playoffs. I'll go as far as saying, like, I think injury hampered him in that Dallas series, and he just didn't really talk about it, and the Wolves didn't make a thing of it. If he were healthy, I think that Dallas series goes a different. He looks more now like he did in that Suns and Nuggets series. Okay. And I don't think he just like wilted under the pressure against
Write this down.
Dallas.
Anthony Edwards has the 6th best odds to win NBA MVP next year, according to FanDuel, behind Giannis, Joel Embiid, SGA, Doncic, and the Joker.
Joel Embiid ain't winning the MVP. He's got that talent too. He does. He doesn't play enough to. Come on, really? Joel Embiid should not be.
That's right, because you got to hit the 65 games or whatever it is.
Yes, come on. Let's give up on this. Joel Embiid is a fantasy of what we think he can be, and at some point in time, you're never going to pay that off. Come on.
Dude, yeah, he's a.
Write this
Sorry.
down.
He's a
I'm really annoyed by him.
All right, write this down. Here. A couple baseball predictions here. Write this down. The Twins will take at least 3 of 4 against the Guards this weekend at home.
Ooh, game changer.
They will take at least 3 of 4 from the Guards this weekend.
They could leave that series then in first place. The Guards rained out against the Guardians on Tuesday night. Now have a double dip against the Diamondbacks. Now have a double dip against Arizona today. Off Thursday, doubleheader on Friday.
So if they get swept in the doubleheader today, and then swept in the doubleheader on Friday,
and the Twins win today, you could get to a point where the Twins could. I'm just saying, the Guardians bullpen's been really good. And yes, they have an off date in between, but if you can tax them for 4 games in the span of 3 days, not bad for the Twins.
And you know what they don't have at Target Field? Home jet stream. That's right.
What's an open air? And we turn it on for both teams, by the way.
Yeah.
It's on for the top half and the bottom half.
That was the Metrodome back when we cheated.
Okay, let's see here.
Write this down.
Let's go Anthony Edwards. Anthony Edwards will be the leading scorer in the gold medal game, which Team USA will win. So I'm going for a home run here. So the Team USA winning gold isn't a home run, but Team USA winning gold and Anthony Edwards leading scorer in the gold medal game, putting his stamp on the world's competition. Yeah, off the bench.
Write this down.
Write it down. Okay, back to Shane for his second prediction.
Okay, this one probably won't be that popular, but I say I was a big Cam Akers fan. I believe Cam Akers will have more total yards than Ty Chandler at the end of the year with the Houston Texans.
Okay.
Ooh, okay. So he's.
I really was hoping they would re-sign him. I really like the guy. I think I know he's not that. He's a little injury prone right now, but I think a healthy Cam Akers is awesome.
Yeah, he's
Double
like James
Achilles,
Caan in
so.
Misery right now.
Yeah, he's got those legs just getting broken.
Hobbled. He's like
What a
25.
terrible
He's
thought.
had 2 Achilles surgeries.
Write this down.
Yeah.
What a terrible thought.
All right, Judd.
R.I.P.
All right. Ant prediction number 2. After being the NBA MVP, Ant will be on the cover of NBA 2K26. Jason Tatum on it. They just announced in July for 25.
Should have put Derek White on there.
Ant Edwards will be.
Drew Holiday.
Ant Edwards, which I don't think that this is a huge reach. Like, I mean, he makes perfect sense. He's great. The kids love him. He's a dynamic player. These Olympics to me are going to also really, if anybody was not aware of Ant previously, feels like this platform will probably take care of that.
Oh, I just thought of another Ant prediction too.
Write this down.
Okay, Dex, you go ahead.
Write this down. Carlos Correa will hit a home run in his first game back with the Twins. Now, the Twins are being very patient with Correa, and he will do a rehab assignment, which is rare for him, but even he acknowledged that he should probably do one after basically not playing in almost a month here. I think July 12th. Might have been my wedding. I think it was July 13th. Might have been the last time he played. But he will probably do a rehab assignment, but when he gets activated by the Twins, he will hit a bomb in his first game back, whenever that is. Write it down.
All right.
Opening
this
day,
down.
2025. Carlos Correa goes yard.
Are you legitimately concerned about that on your list of sports
That long
dad
of
concerns?
absence? No. Am I concerned about the fact that this is going to continue to be a problem to the point of where he's going to have to come back in some pain? Yes.
It's his opposite foot this time, too. It's not the same foot as last year.
It's weird to have it. I've never heard of a athlete having this in back-to-back years in the other, like it's the left foot in 24 or 23, the right foot in 24. I'm curious what the medical community thinks about this one.
I'll check on my sources.
Doctors, tell me.
Wouldn't they say though? There's like if you're favoring one area of your body or leg, then you're putting more strain and pressure. Is this something that's been building since the other foot was a problem,
or
is his chronically bad ankle leading to pressure points in other areas? I'm not a doctor, nor did I stay at a Holiday Inn Express last night.
Write this down.
Dr. Mackey, you just brought up what I've been thinking about. Could this have to do with that?
So Correa homers first game. Okay, write this down. This is kind of a long-term Anthony Edwards prediction. I'll put an end date of by the end of the 2025 calendar year, Anthony Edwards will be a State Farm endorser.
Oh God, that's a good one.
That was a good one.
So like Chris Paul's been their guy, right, for off and on,
and a ton of people
that's
have
State
now.
Farm, right? Chris Paul.
Yep.
I just want to make sure. Okay.
Reggie Miller, Caitlin Clark, like they've expanded. With Jake, their roster by a lot.
Steph Curry too.
Steph Curry, yeah, no, that's a great one.
Anthony Edwards by the end of the 2025 will be a State Farm endorser.
Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
They're kind of fun. Yeah, they're cheeky. He'd be great in those commercials.
Write this down.
Okay, back to Shane. Third
Okay,
and final
this one I hope is a good one. My thing is I think Sammis Reyes. Do you guys know who he is?
Sammis Reyes.
He's like the 6th tight end on the roster for the Vikings.
Oh, okay.
He's from the International Player Pathway Program.
Okay.
He happens
that
to be from
guy.
Chile.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's from Chile. My wife's from Chile. Everybody in Chile cares about him. He's like a big deal. I predict he has a preseason touchdown in the first game of the season.
Oh.
He doesn't make the team. He'll make the practice squad, but he had a touchdown catch last week with J.J. McCarthy in practice.
Mm-hmm.
He's an absolute specimen. He's gigantic, and I think that he scores a touchdown in the preseason.
So in the preseason or in the first preseason game?
Yeah, we'll go first preseason game. I'll
Okay.
make it a little
So
more
Saturday.
interesting.
Let's
Yeah.
go this
Okay.
weekend.
Nice.
Love it, man. Shane, great work on your predictions here today. Since you've got this life-changing platform, is there anyone in your life you'd like to thank that helped you get
Yes,
this moment?
I would like to thank my wife for putting up with my unhappy times when the Vikings lose, and my children also because they don't like the Vikings, they like the Jets. And I would also like to thank my brother and his partners, his work partners, Frankie Quinn and Freddie Hill, for all their support, and all the people back home in West Haven, Connecticut.
Awesome,
Beautiful,
man.
beautiful.
Shane,
just quickly. Okay, the Vikings can be tough to like at times, but like they're traditionally a pretty good team, right?
Yeah.
How did your kids adopt the Jets? I'm like the misery.
Mark Sanchez. I don't know. My oldest son fell in love with Mark Sanchez. The butt fumble, the eating the hot dog on the sideline. I don't know what it was.
Shane, I fault you here. Like, what type of parenting are you doing to allow these young people? Their minds are being formed, and it's the Jets.
Horrible. We flew up last year, and all my son did was complain the whole time yelled at Robert Saleh the entire game when they played the Texans. He's just
right.
He's a miserable Jets fan.
Don't worry, Aaron Rodgers will be doing the same exact thing this season.
Yeah, I'm
yelling at Robert
Achilles pops. I'm just
awesome, man. Shane, great work. Hopefully we see you again sometime, all right?
All right, thank you, fellas. Appreciate it.
There he is, guest listener, predictor Shane. These Write That Down predictions presented today by our friends at Nicolay Law, the exclusive personal injury law firm of Purple Daily and Score North podcasts. Nicolay Law knows that when you or a loved one gets injured, ordinary life can come to a stop. Things can get complicated. That's why you need someone trustworthy to lean on. Russell Nicolay, also just a huge supporter and fan of Minnesota sports teams. He's just like one of us, except his team and himself happen to have law degrees and are experts in getting you the compensation you deserve after an accident. So if you've been injured, be sure to get Minnesota's local award-winning injury lawyers. Get Nicolay. Start your path to winning at nicolaylaw.com or give them a call at 1-855-NICOLAY. And as we've mentioned here, Twins are coming back home this weekend. Biggest series of the season, a 4-gamer against the Guardians. A chance to get closer or maybe even past the Guardians in the standings. 6-1-2 Saturdays at Target Field. $6 beers, $1 snacks, $2 food. I know Friday nights. By the way, I think they're doing I saw a press release, no fee tickets available for this weekend.
Correct.
And there's going to be Friday night fireworks after game 2. Maybe some fireworks in game 2, if you know what I'm saying. Huh? Roll Royce Lewis. Old bomb to left. No? Okay. Twins.com/tickets. Twins.com/tickets.
Write this down.
Hey, Twins fans. All right, Judd, what's your final prediction?
Just terrible. Okay, my final prediction of my 3-pack of Ant predictions actually doesn't involve Ant, but it would be will be very impactful to the young man. And that is this. Kevin Durant will end his career with the Timberwolves.
Oh.
Whoa.
Kevin Durant will end his. Ant is going to find a way.
Dude.
And look, he for all intents purposes is going to become the pseudo GM, right? Like if Carlos Correa is the GM of the Twins as a player,
But he's not though, because he got shot down all of his ideas.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. But Tim Connelly, I think, will listen to Ant. And as things sort of evolve and change here, I mean, we don't know if Gobert is going to be here for the long term. Heck, we don't know about Cat, right? Kevin Durant, who is a phenomenal player when he's healthy and happy, seems to love Ant. We know that Ant worships Durant, and if Kevin Durant is happy and healthy, he is going to be damn good. So I think that there's like one final Durant chapter here, and that includes, off the record, a chapter in which the LOB is hoisted by the Timberwolves with Ant and Durant sharing the pleasure.
Wait, what is that off the record? So
That's
you're
off
just
the record. I'm just saying Durant will end his career with the Timberwolves because he will play with Ant. But I am also saying I think there's a final chapter here of what is a first ballot Hall of Fame career for Kevin.
Yeah.
That he will be hoisting the LOB along with Anthony.
If you could just, I'll bring it up because they're playing so well together off the bench. Durant and Ant are the 2 leading scorers for this team. Declan, are you okay?
Yeah?
That was the biggest yawn I've ever seen.
Oh.
That was a Michael Jordan tongue-out yawn. Someone needs to
I
give Declan's face.
Well, now they will. I didn't see it.
I was just rocking out to Blink 182 last night. So it was a little bit of a slow wake up this morning. So I'm a little tired from last night. There was a replacement shout out, Judd, from Blink last night.
Really?
You would appreciate it. They were thanking all the opening acts, and then they were kind of building it up to thank themselves as the greatest rock band of all time. People thought they were going to say Blink, and then they said The Replacements.
Oh wow, Blink! You got my respect.
Mm-hmm.
That's awesome.
Would you trade? I think it's 4 years of Karl Anthony Towns for 1 year of Kevin Durant.
Yes.
35 years old.
Interesting.
For this upcoming season only.
Yes.
Oh yeah, you know what? I would. Yeah. Yes, I would, because if you
I would
could,
too.
yeah, if you could get Durant, I just think the two gel really well. And this is gonna sound corny, but I think Ant's joy in the game transfers to Durant, who does not always to me seem to be joyful.
I agree. Durant needs someone to play off of, and that's
Like-
why, before the Achilles injury, the Golden State thing was a blast for him mostly.
Yep.
He banged heads with Draymond sometimes, but it was like this joyful fun.
And Durant doesn't want to be the guy off the floor. Like, I think that he loves to just be chill, laid back, and then kill you on the court. But I mean, I wonder how would this be different, Durant coming off the bench in Paris, if Ant was not there with him? Like, I just think Ant's it's a contagious joy of basketball.
Yeah, I feel you. Yep.
Write this down.
Okay, Declan's final prediction.
All right, write this down. I told you guys in Purple Daily, got the 400-meter dash here this afternoon. Yeah. I'll make a 400-meter dash prediction. Quincy Hall of Team USA. He has the second best odds to win this race. You have Matthew Hudson-Smith of Great Britain, who is the favorite. But Quincy Hall, write this down, will win the 400-meter dash. He'll take home the gold. So
Okay.
Quincy Hall will win the 400-meter dash today at the Olympics.
Okay, and then write this down. My final prediction.
Write this down.
So Brandon Ayuk, there's been all these rumblings that the Browns and Patriots have official offers on the table, but maybe he's trying to
Patriots
leverage
withdrew.
the team. So Patriots withdrew.
morning.
Yep.
Patriots got out.
I'm going to say Brandon Ayuk finds a way to get himself to the Pittsburgh Steelers. Brandon Ayuk to the Steelers.
You know what that does then? That means that the Twitter account of what's his name, the guy who's been accurate about the Vikings, little Jimmy or little Ricky something.
Huh?
Who's the guy who's made a bunch of predictions? They've been weird and bizarre about the Vikings, but
Crack Rock?
No, there's a Ricky. There's a
Crack
Ricky.
Rock is my favorite one.
Oh, okay, there's like a Ricky that our guy Pelissero was ticked off about because he said it's the Steelers.
But no, I remember we sparred with that guy, I think, because we were talking about the Vikings offer for Kirk was such and such or something, and he was saying no, it's not going to be anywhere near. It's laughable that it would be $40 million a year, and he was wrong about that.
Pretty Ricky 213.
Yeah, he was wrong about the Kirk stuff.
Yeah, he's been wrong about stuff. He's been right about stuff, but he's been saying it's the Steelers.
Just like all of us.
And then the Steelers were supposedly out. Like the Steelers were engaged, but then they got out. Well, now the rumblings are they're back in.
So a random guy on Twitter thinks Ayuk might be going to the Steelers?
No, he was saying for sure. And then he got a death threat, and now he claims to have retired. So
Ayuk or Pretty Ricky?
Pretty Ricky.
Okay.
Pretty Ricky now says Ricky retired. He claims he's done.
Okay. How many followers does this person have?
It's a huge deal.
So you're saying this random person on Twitter has
51,000.
51,000 followers?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. No, Pretty Ricky's been right about some stuff.
All right.
You know what? This is what makes 2024 so great.
These random
ass
accounts.
Pretty Ricky.
Oh my gosh. So there's your write that down predictions, your accountability session here. Minnesota Sports with Mackey and Judd, the only show and Purple Daily that actually has the stones to put statistics next to our predictions.